Okay. Are we rolling? Yes. I did Charlie Rose one time. Have you ever done Charlie Rose?
Long time ago, yeah.
I walked into the room. Charlie Rose was sitting there, and he's just doing papers, and he's talking, and there's no one in the room. And I was talking to him for 8-9 minutes before I realized we were on the show.
That's happened to me so many times with podcasts and stuff. I'll be talking to somebody, just like, just hanging out and talking, and then all of a sudden I realize, oh, no, this is the show.
We're in this.
We're like halfway through the show.
Do you like that? Could we consider this the beginning of the episode?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, we're batting 1,000
Here we go.
far.
I love it so
we're
far.
We're batting 1,000.
We're killing it.
Yes.
Crushing it, John.
I should do some kind of introduction. With me is a 5-time Grammy Award winner, beloved multi-generational artist, comedian, writer, director, actor. I'm just going to list off some of the songs. Listen to this esteemed list of songs. Fat, Eat It, Like a Surgeon, Girls Just Want to Have Lunch, I Lost on Jeopardy, Dare to Be Stupid, Yoda, Amish Paradise, Smells Like Nirvana. It is, quote, Weird Al, end quote, Yankovic. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
To Life with John Mayer. Am I the first person to tell you that I feel strange calling you weird?
Perhaps not, but the first time I've heard it from you.
Yeah, okay. So we're really digging brand new grooves here.
You can call me Al, though. Al works fine.
But I just...
Like Paul Simon says.
You can call me Al.
Yeah.
Has there been a time you went, I don't want to be weird today?
Well, I'm not like weird bouncing off the walls 24 hours a day.
But weird in terms of people's perception of you and calling you weird. Has it ever stuck to you in a funny way? You go, today I wish I wasn't known as weird.
Yeah, I think it's, I've got the nickname, which has been around for decades and decades. But, I don't think people think of me, certainly people close to me in my life don't think of me as Weird Al. I'm just,
right.
Just, the dad or
That's right.
whatever,
That's right. What's the least weird thing about you?
My pancreas. It's completely normal.
It all checks out.
Yes.
Can I see the charts? I mean, I know HIPAA is a thing.
I don't have them with me.
Okay. Well, we'll get them.
I'll email them to you. I got PDF files.
Oh, my God. Pancreas. You are the type to send pancreas.pdf.
I would. That's my kink.
When I told people I was going to be interviewing you, the response from my friends was over the top.
Really?
Yeah, there is this...
Like the Stallone movie?
Yes, like the Stallone movie.
A lot of arm wrestling?
Where I believe at the center, the big win is the love of a child and a new Volvo 18-wheeler.
Yes!
Yes.
What we all want in life.
I just wish my son would talk to me and I had a sleeper cab to take me across the country. I watched UHF last night.
Oh,
I've been listening.
How is it?
Oh, it holds up.
Oh, good.
It holds up.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. When is the last time you saw UHF?
Oh, God. I've seen that movie probably more than any other human in the world. Probably a couple hundred times in my life. But the last time, it came out on 4K Blu-ray recently, and I haven't even watched that yet.
I can't wait to get into it. There's so much to get into. I first came in contact with your music. It's 1984. I believe that those were the best years of my life, and I wonder if you agree they were the best years in pop music. 84, 85, 86, 87, that era. And your music was right there. People don't understand, like, your album in 3D was right there next to Purple Rain, Thriller, Culture Club, Boy George, and it didn't seem odd to me growing up. I was 6, 7 years old, and it just seemed cool and great. And so I guess if we're playing with the timeline, how do you find me when I'm listening to this music? That was your second or third album, right? That was your third album.
It's second album, I think.
So where did you grow up? I forgot.
Around L.A.
You did?
Yeah, I'm from Linwood. Linwood? Are you familiar with Linwood?
No.
It's adjacent to Compton and Downey and Southgate. It's like South Bay. I went to Suge Knight's high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
They should call it that.
Yeah, they do now.
Suge Knight Elementary. Why did I think it was Midwest? There's a Midwest vibe to you.
Well, a lot of people think that because there was a famous accordion player named Frankie Yankovic, who was America's polka king, and he was based out of Cleveland.
Okay.
So a lot of people, and just the whole accordion thing, people assumed well, he's obviously from the Midwest.
Okay, maybe that is what it has this Great Lakes kind of thing to it.
Yeah.
Right. So how old are you when you get an accordion?
I remember my first accordion lesson was the day before my 7th birthday. So they get to you young when the synapses in your brain are just still moldable.
Well, that's like anyone you see playing tuba in the marching band. You're like, you were hard and fast a tuba player your whole life. To be a flautist, you got to love that flute.
That's nothing you pick up in middle age.
No.
That's something that you have to drill into your head as a kid.
And when you saw an accordion, like when I saw a guitar, I went, I want to hold that. I want to manipulate that. Did you have that feeling about an accordion?
Well, I didn't really have a memory of it, but I read online. I found my old accordion teacher online, the guy that literally went door to door trying to sell accordion lessons, and he remembers the story that he came and talked to my family and said, "Would your child like to take accordion lessons or guitar lessons?" And he says that I said guitar, and my mom said, "Oh no, accordion."
Yeah.
And she knew that accordion music would take over Western civilization.
Yeah. Well, it took. I mean, you found a niche.
Yeah.
You know, and owned it, and still to this day own it. How long are you playing the accordion? And I imagine you're learning songs. You're learning Greensleeves or whatever it is out of the book. How long into owning an accordion do you start going off the map and starting to fool around and starting to be funny instead of just read off the page?
Pretty soon. I mean, you know, I was learning the polkas and the classical pieces and all the little dipsy doodle things that you learn on the accordion. But I remember, you know, and this is between ages 7 and 10 when I was taking lessons. I was almost immediately writing my own music. I would write out sheet music and come up with my own songs. Simultaneously, I was making fun of the songs on the radio.
Yeah.
I was going through my accordion book of like 50 hot hits of 1968,
Right.
And literally changing the words on the lyric sheets to something funny
On the actual manuscript. That's great.
just to amuse my friend. And it was nothing clever or particularly interesting, but as an 8-year-old, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
You know.
And did you ever write a sincere song? Have you ever tried to sit down and write, and have you ever written a song that wasn't driven towards comedy?
I tried that a couple times in my early teens. I had some friends that I was trying to write some songs with, and I could write music for anything, but anytime I tried to write really sincere, vulnerable, heartfelt lyrics, my brain was not wired that way.
You revolted because you thought it was, you didn't buy it, or you couldn't do it?
It just felt so inauthentic to me.
Yeah,
that wasn't who I was.
I
wasn't this vulnerable, sensitive guy. I was just a wacko.
Yeah,
you know?
I actually started out writing silly songs.
Really?
And I think songwriters begin silly because that's a way to skirt any self-judgment or criticism or insecurity. You go, well, and a lot of ideas come when you're just not being hard on yourself and thinking about being funny.
But then you peel back the layers. You peel the onion, John.
Yes.
I will tell you, there's one song on my second album. It's called Nature Trail to Hell, an original song.
You almost got a spit take. You almost got one. Let me do this before.
Okay, Nature Trail to Hell. But the instrumental break on that is something that I wrote literally when I was like 8 or 9 years old. It was one of those original pieces of music that I wrote when I was a kid, and I just brought it back, for my second album. I was like, well, this would work in the bridge, yeah.
And I listened back to a lot of your music yesterday, and I was cackling, laughing out loud, like cackling. It's so funny, it's so pure. And the thing that I think as an adult now that I'm so blown away by is the production value of these songs that you're making sound-alikes for. I mean, the thing you're trying to do is, I think, nail the production of the music and then kind of divert with the vocal.
Yeah.
That is an unbelievable ability to match so many different styles of music in the studio. Who is behind that? And this is obviously a very serious business to get these songs to sound like that.
Rick Derringer produced my first 6 albums, and I've been producing my own albums since the early 90s. But I have to give most of the credit to my band and the engineer, because my band, I've had the same band since 1982,
Wow.
and they're just like some of the best musicians in the world.
They have to. I mean, you take a song like the Beverly Hillbillies song, which is Money for Nothing. People have been trying to match that guitar tone in the beginning. You like matched it perfectly.
Well, there's a reason for that. I had my guitar player Jim Kimo West doing that part, and then when Mark Knopfler found out about it, he said, "Well, actually, I would like to do that myself."
You're kidding me.
No, so
that's Mark Knopfler
that's
playing the guitar.
That's actually Mark Knopfler playing.
Does anyone else know? Is that an inside secret?
This is not a scoop. That has been.
Oh my God! But that would explain it.
But here's the funny part. When my guitar player played the track, it actually sounded more like the original record than what Mark did, because he was painfully, making sure that every single note was exactly right. And Mark had been playing the song live on the road for a while, so he had a little bit more of a loose feel to it.
Right.
I mean, it had that sound that, very distinct Mark Knopfler sound, but the original thing that we replaced actually was closer to the original.
But you chose name value over precision.
That's correct.
And I would do the same thing 10 out of 10 times. And Rick Derringer, great musician in his own right, known, if you don't know, and this is getting very kind of era specific, but Rick Derringer wrote Real American.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to know, every time I go work out in the gym, I put on Real American.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it just pumps me up. Well, lately.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Hulk Hogan used to walk out on into the ring and you'd hear, I am a real American.
Yeah, I think Rick produced that whole wrestling album. There was
there was a wrestling album.
Right.
But this, to me, I think is what's wonderful about being able to talk to you. You are part of this tapestry of growing up in the 80s. And I know you're multi-generational, and I'm sure there's, over and over again, people are bringing kids to your show, and they're bringing their kids. But there was pop music. It was the best era of pop music. Wrestling was really funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever find wrestling funny?
Yeah. Cyndi Lauper and
Captain Lou Albano.
Yes.
I just also thought that wrestling itself, the kinetic movement of wrestling, was really funny when I was a kid. And then your music was there as this way for us to laugh, but also respect what was going on. And also, I don't know if people have told you this, there are songs I was introduced to because of your parody of them. So I didn't know that Yoda was Lola, or that
really?
I Lost on Jeopardy is Our Love's in Jeopardy by Greg Kindan.
Oh, wow.
So it was a really cool way to discover all of that music backwards.
I've heard from so many people saying that they were familiar with my parody, and then they'd hear the original song on the radio years later and go
wait a minute,
what's this unfunny version of a Weird Al song?
That's right. What's this deeply unfunny version? To say that heartfelt in this case is a bummer, and the opposite of I was expecting to laugh. Well, that's because oftentimes you match the sound so well, you have to wait till you get to the vocal to realize, this actually is not the song I thought it was.
Have you ever seen the 30 Rock episode that I was on where Jenna does this really ridiculous song, and then I come and do I reverse Weird Al it, and I do a heartfelt.
What was the name of the song? I know that there's the werewolf thing, and I don't remember which song it was.
Yeah, it was. I think Jenna Maroney did Fart So Loud, and I made it to this Bruce Springsteen-esque Heart So Proud.
You reversed.
He reversed out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And what I also learned is that I think, would you agree? There's kind of this Mandela effect that everyone thinks that every one of your songs on your albums were parodies, but actually 30% of them were parodies.
It's about half and half. It's about half original and half parody, and there's almost always a polka medley thrown in.
It's so funny. I mean, honest to God, I'm cackling yesterday listening to this stuff, and I thought maybe it would have an archival vibe for me. You have a song called eBay, which is I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Right.
And you say in the bridge, I am the type who's liable to snipe you with 2 seconds left to go. I was cackling. And I didn't have to write that down to remember it. It's just stuck in my head. The writing is so funny. And I suppose the thing that I'm most curious about, and I think the world is always curious about, is the process of creating the parodies. And I know you've talked about it a trillion times, but do you produce the song before you ask for permission? Does producing the song help you get permission or hurt in that way?
Sometimes it's a waste of time. Let me go back to eBay just a second.
Yeah.
That was almost going to be a single or a video, but then eBay started doing this whole ad campaign where their commercials were all parodies of eBay. I think they did a parody of Frank Sinatra. I Did It My Way. I got it on eBay, and I was like, oh no, my song is going to be looked at like a commercial. Yeah. And I just did not want to be like the guy doing commercials for eBay. So that kind of, was secretly put out on the album.
So funny.
But then it wound up being the most popular track on
Was
that
it
album.
really?
Kind of,
okay,
yeah.
so then my taste is good because every line on that is so funny.
Thanks, man.
It's so funny.
So to answer your question, though, I've learned that most artists give me permission to do parodies. I've got a track record, and people look at it as an homage.
So you could call and say, "I've got one. Can I do it?" And they'll say yes. Or how much do you have to show them to get their approval?
Just what I've been doing is just give them the log line. Say I want to do a parody of your song, and it's called this, and it's basically about this. What do you think? because even though it's a gray area, I don't necessarily need to get permission. I've always made it my policy.
I didn't know. Right, you could if you wanted because of parody law.
Yeah. But it's I like to not make any enemies in this business.
That's
and I
right.
Make sure everybody's cool.
And you've probably regretted asking a few times because once you get a no, you can't go around the no.
That's true. Yeah.
So you're kind of tamped down by your own rule.
Yeah.
Is this serious business when you're recording a parody, or are you cackling, laughing because it's your first time hearing it over the music?
Well, it's writing is not that much of a fun process for me because I get very focused. Even though it's like this ridiculous, silly thing, I'm actually putting a lot of work and energy.
Oh, you can hear it. Oh, yeah. You can hear it.
But and so every now and then I'll come up with a rhyming couplet and I'll kind of chuckle to myself, oh, that's kind of clever. That's pretty good.
Sure.
And then I love, my favorite thing was like after I've done the song, like 10 years later, I've completely forgotten about the process and I listen back to it and go, oh, that was actually pretty good.
And also, do you not remember what's coming next so you can surprise yourself with what the next line is?
Yeah. Oh, I was funny 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, I have this now as I get older. I say, I was very good at that 10 years ago because I can still do it, but I'm slower and more methodical. And the fundamentals I'm very good at, but that sort of combustion of going to write it, it's not like it was, but I can still do it. It's just, I'd be in the gym a little longer, and I listen back and I go, yeah, that was good stuff. And I'm also at the point now where like, God, I hate to say it, but I'll listen to a song I wrote that I recorded, and I'll go, what's the bridge going to be?
Yeah. How am I going to get out of this?
What's the bridge?
What am I going to do now?
Actually, what did he do? What did I do?
Oh.
So you're not laughing the first time you hear yourself sing these things?
No, I mean it's pretty serious business. In the studio.
Serious business. Yeah.
I mean, there was one of my albums where I did sort of a making of thing, like life in the studio and the actual recording process, and people were amazed, like yeah, you're just doing all this with a straight face. I'm just like I was doing like a Brian Wilson pastiche, and I'm there with like a bicycle horn and like doing playing on a little toy piano, looking ridiculous, but like it was very serious business,
because. It seems to me that when you're looking for an extra overdub and you can't find the right instrument, you just make fart noises.
Yes.
These moments in the songs for no reason at all. It's just...
Yeah. Oh, you're very good.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think it was Eat It.
Yeah.
And you're going... Yeah. Which means at some point you went, hey, can you give me another track? I just want to try something. And you're going...
Yeah. Got to give props to musical Mike Kiefer. He's my flatulist. Is that what you call it? Manualist. I forget one of those.
He's your flatulist.
Yes.
He's the now I know he's the guy you call in Hollywood.
He's the union flatulist.
Yes. Yeah. He's the union flatulist. He had someone come in. You got to put pumice on the hands.
No, he was right. He really was serious about it. He had to let me go to the bathroom, wash my hands, and get them to the right like.
It's
okay. And here's the other thing. He would we'd have to have two mics because one sound would come out of the top of the hands and one would come out of the bottom of the hands.
Like a snare.
Treble and bass. And
you want to make the bottom.
Literally be like a stereo version.
So that means somewhere on a track list on a 3-inch reel of tape, it says fart top, fart bottom.
Yes.
I love the idea of seeing you do one of those behind the music things where, like they used to like Steely Dan sitting at the board.
Albums. This is the fart bottom.
Oh, right. This is when we brought in Mike. Hold on, let's hear that.
Let me EQ that fart bottom.
Right.
A little more 10K on that one.
Oh, Michael McDonald was on this. Yes, he was. Michael McDonald is on everyone's track list somewhere in the 70s. So let's actually, what we should talk about.
Let's do that.
You are going back on tour.
I am.
It's called the Bigger and Weirder Tour, Bigger and Weirder 2025. Most excited is I am, because you're going into the Garden, Madison Square Garden.
Yes, my first time,
And it's going to go clean.
I haven't been to a show there yet, so it'll be fun.
You've never been to the Garden?
I've never been inside, no. I've walked around it a few times.
Do you look at are you the type of artist? You look and see how do you go to Ticketmaster and look at the seat maps? See how many blue dots?
Sometimes it seems like it's selling well, but yeah.
Very few blue dots are left.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to hear.
It's going to go clean.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I walked around the Garden and I saw all these like big posters like, Eddie Vedder and Bruce Springsteen and Elton John saying, "You're nobody till you play at the Garden." Like, oh, okay.
And that's what made you want to do it.
Well, no, I've always wanted to do it. I just never thought it was within the realm of possibility. I mean, in the early 80s, for merch, we used to have these tour shirts, and all the dates on the back were fake. Like, Weird Al, Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Like, of course, I'm never going to play there,
Oh, but you could have any year you wanted to.
I don't know. It's odd because this year, I'm playing bigger places this year than I've ever played before in my life.
It has something to do with consistency and quality and patience and being, I think, and I'm seeing the beginning of this, just a constant presence in people's lives.
Aw.
And being, once you wash out that constant need for attention, you trust that they love you and that those who love you will continue to love you. What I think is interesting now is the people who love you have kids.
Yeah.
And they're playing music. They're playing your music for their kids who now want to come see you.
I love hearing that. I hear so many stories about parents saying that their 12-year-old came up to them and said, "Hey, I discovered this new guy, Weird Al Yankovic.
Isn't that great?
Have you heard of him?" Like, yeah.
It's great. And what I find so compelling is that, and it's bittersweet, but you have been sending up pop culture and huge stars for so much of your life, and in many ways you've outlasted or outlived many of them. Has that occurred to you, and how does that feel?
It's pretty ironic because when I first started out in the 80s, it was really tough for me to get a record deal because I do, funny music, which in the industry is considered novelty. And novelty is sort of a slur meaning, one-hit wonder. Because historically, anybody with like a funny song on the radio, they might, be a footnote in rock and roll history, but that's really the last you're ever going to hear from them.
I have a theory about novelty. Can I?
Sure.
My theory is that most big first hits by every artist is a novelty song.
Oh, interesting.
And I would say Your Body is a Wonderland is a novelty song if you frame it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I Kissed a Girl is a novelty song. Lola Young, Messy, these things that involve these very broad devices of expressing something, which is Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know.
Right.
Is a novelty song in the sense that it is meant to cut through so much other stuff, and that's how it does cut through.
Get your attention,
It gets your attention. I was thinking about that there is a novelty song, and I'm putting myself in that group, and then what you do is you try to swim away from that novelty song for the rest of your life.
I've just never wanted to,
Yeah, well, you're obviously the king of doing it.
But I've seen some people do a full-on novelty song like, yes, we did Psycho Chick and glad we got your attention, but now here's our real music. And
people think I did that, but I didn't. I actually really like Your Body as well. I when I wrote it, I thought I had something there. But you age and you go, there's a way to do this where it can be big, but I'll also want to play it every night, and it will represent me correctly. But you were saying that you're in the record company system, but you're writing novelty songs, and that's a unique thing for you with them.
Yeah. So, and they signed me to a deal in 1982. So this is Scotty Brothers Records, which I'm not sure if they actually
remember Scotty Brothers.
Yeah. But they signed me to a 10-album deal at the time, which certainly, this, that doesn't mean that they think you're going to make 10 albums. That was just a draconian thing in the contract.
I don't hear that as a good thing.
No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I guarantee you they did not think they're going to make 10 albums with me.
Did they?
14.
14. And you're still with?
No. So what happened was somewhere during the first part of the contract, we renegotiated because they were paying me peanuts. But part of the renegotiation was they tacked on 2 more albums, and then we did that again a few years later, so it became a 14-album deal.
Got it.
Which I finally fulfilled in just 32 short years.
Listen, I'm out of mine. It was 25 years.
So I guess I'm indie now because they didn't want to re-sign with anybody. I like the idea of not being beholden to anybody or owing anybody anything.
Me too, and you don't have to, and now you get to go. You're doing these are victory laps now.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're done, but it means
I'm playing the side quests.
You're done worrying.
Yeah.
I'm on look at the room we're sitting in.
Yeah, how about
you are
that?
In the manifestation of a side quest
go.
for me, which is like I want to talk to artists because I think there's so much more behind artists, and we're kind of scared to express ourselves. And with you, I'm fascinated at how your brain developed into your specific brain. But let's stay where I'm a kid and I'm looking through these albums, and it's the big hit artists, and you're one of the hit artists, and your job is to be at the party and kind of not make fun, but make light of these other songs.
Yeah.
Did you feel a part of the scene, even though you were sending up the songs by those who were in scene makers?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because when I first started out, certainly I was very much an outsider. I was about as outsider as you could possibly get. I was just this dorky kid from LA with an accordion making stupid records. And I kind of cherished my outsider status because, you're poking fun at the people on the inside of the bubble, the elite, you know. And then after a couple of years, after, a couple of albums, I found myself being at the same award shows and the same parties.
That's what I'm visualizing.
And I'm rubbing elbows with these people that I'm mocking.
Did you feel comfortable in those rooms?
Yeah, I still don't feel comfortable.
Yeah, but you've taken a limo to awards ceremonies and gotten out in the same capacity the artists you were parodying were. Did you feel I have this thing like, do I have a right to be here? And if I feel like I have a right to be there, I'll party my ass off. If I don't know who's throwing the party and a friend said, I will not go. Did you feel like you had a right to be there and be a part of the party if you wanted to be?
Yes and no. I mean, I've always had imposter syndrome, and I still have it to this day. But
you're literally an imposter.
Yeah. That explains it, I guess.
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like they think I'm a clown. It's
it's
like, well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You make it an art form.
I try to fake like I'm comfortable, and
I
try to.
I do too.
Like sometimes I'll be talking to people who I've admired since I was a kid, and I'm just trying to pretend like my brain isn't exploding. And because nobody wants to be, fawned over in those circumstances. You just want to be a human and have a normal conversation. Don't I love you so much, man.
Yes, but you said something about sort of bursting the bubble. How much of parodying a song is just adulation? Because you seem like a latchkey kid who looks up to people who are artists and the big time. How much of that is just like loving that world, and how much of it is seeing kind of someone be successful and go, I find this a little, this turns my stomach a little bit?
Gosh, I mean, I'm a big music fan. I can't say that I don't hate any music. Nothing churns my stomach. When I do parodies, I don't know about 100% of the time, but almost every time it's as an homage, and it's because I respect the work and I'm a fan of the music, and part of that is because I know that I might be playing these songs on stage like decades from now, and I don't want to be playing something that I hate.
This makes you like every artist.
Yeah,
we're all trying to write stuff that. We want to hear ourselves play that is competitive, that we also want to play jet-lagged in Germany. I've always said, I don't care if you give me $1 billion and make me the biggest star in the world. If I'm in Germany jet-lagged and it's a converted ice hockey rink and everyone's wearing winter jackets, I've had 2 hours of sleep, I want to cry, and the show is about to start, and I'd have to be like, boom, I'm laying you down on the bed, I'm moving you down, no. I would walk away. I would just step off the stage, like having to 5, 4, 3, 2, lifting off the stage, and it says tick. I personally, I couldn't do it. So I'm trying to write songs that are good for the set list. But do you feel when you go out on tour, you're going to look down on that set list and you're going to be psyched? You have so many songs you can be excited about playing.
So, I pick my own set list, obviously, and I pick stuff, I got to pick the crowd pleasers and all that. And there's some songs that, I don't know that I'm tired of them, because if people are reacting to them and loving them, it doesn't really get old for me.
No, you want to watch them watch the thing.
But I also like to put in a few deep cuts here and there, just for my own amusement and for some hardcore fan. I never thought I'd heard the song from the 4th album that he never plays.
It's like 1 for me, 3 for you.
Right.
Right? Do you think that's the ratio?
Probably. And there's one tour that I did, two tours actually. My ridiculously self-indulgent, ill-advised vanity tour. I did that twice because, I remember at the end of one tour when I was putting on my fat suit for literally the 1,000th time.
You would wear the fat suit every time you did fat?
Yes, absolutely. How
do you quick change into the fat suit?
It's, we got it down to a science,
How long does it take to get into the fat suit?
A minute. Because I've got somebody backstage helping me, and it's a whole...
So it's one big application goes on your face, a little bit of spirit gum, blip, blip, blip.
Yeah, it's like a mask with some Velcro on the back.
And
a big fat suit, and it's a whole... But we got it down like to a minute. But yeah, after I was putting that on, I was like, I think I've lost the thread here. Am I a musician, or am I like this? Like
yes, yeah. But it's written it was written on the ticket.
Yeah, but I thought like next tour, I'm just going to have all of us go out on stage and sit down on stools and play music. And knowing that that's not like a big tent kind of thing, not everybody wants to see that.
Right.
But it was a tour especially geared for the hardcore fans that just want to have like an intimate evening with me, like playing my tunes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Now I think you're saying that the title was completely polar opposite of what the show was.
Well, no, it was still the ill-advised vanity tour because it was like me like playing.
I see. Yeah, I want to go do intimate places.
Yes. I want to be an artiste. I want to be like the. I mean,
I understand. I thought it was bells and whistles vanity, but you mean I want to bring it back to the music, and you're saying it's ill-advised.
Right. So everybody that showed up to those tours was like super psyched because they were hearing all these deep cuts, and it was like playing in somebody's living room. But there'd always be like 2 or 3 people in the back going, "How come you're not playing Eat It?
Great.
Eat It!"
And will you still play Eat It and Fat in these songs?
No, we on that tour we did like this kind of like lounge version medley of the hits at the very end.
But it's just do you feel like those songs are 2025 proof in terms of changing mores and worldviews and customs? Are you gonna sing Fat?
That's a good question. I kind of tend to let songs live in their era. Like some of my songs might be considered inappropriate now, right, or not, but you have to look at like imagine it's 1985 again.
That's right. I would also say that because you started a culture of comedy that has then taken off so much that your work might look anodyne compared to where it is now, that perhaps getting back a little bit of illicitness, it might take doing Fat and Girls Just Want to Have Lunch and Eat It to now get back a little bit of the we shouldn't be doing this, because that's what I love about your music. Growing up going like, it felt like Jolt Cola, fireworks, ding dong ditching, like boobs in movies that were on your friends' VHS tapes that your dads remember those old VHS tapes that had 3 movies on them.
Sure, yeah.
And Weird Al.
Yeah.
Yes, and Weird Al.
Yeah.
That was illicit to us. So maybe there's this thing that you're just upping the ante, and it's like, he said he's joking about being fat, and that's actually kind of what it takes to go, to keep up with. Because there's an innocence to you now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not going for shock value. That's not what I'm about. But I'm self-aware enough to know that there's a lot of nostalgia being part of my appeal. I mean,
of course.
It brings you back to wherever you were in the 80s.
I think you are so beloved. You know where I put you? I put you in Rickles territory.
Oh wow!
And the reason I say that. I was happy to trade letters with Rickles and have dinner with Rickles.
Oh, no kidding.
He was grandfathered in. When times changed.
Oh yeah,
he was grandfathered into Rickles can do it.
Right.
And I think you have that. You have that thing that goes, nope, don't anybody come after Weird Al. He is allowed to do it. He has a special badge for this. Right. And I think you actually do get to do that, because the one thing we don't want to do is give up the stuff we truly love and found lovely and innocent in growing up. And I think people who loved your music growing up, and I can say this on behalf of my friends, became smart people. There's a real intelligence to what you're writing and doing. We all just became cool, smart kids because we were listening to your music. It's just so funny, and it was great. And
that's so nice, man. Thank you.
I really mean it. And last night I rewatched a movie that has meant so much to me in my life, UHF. And I'm not lying when I tell you it's a very big part of why we are in this room. I see this channel a little bit like UHF.
Nice.
Taking a channel, Channel 14, they said you're going to get Channel 14, and how can we turn it into this countercultural thing a little bit in terms of things that have not been done before.
Yeah.
And I've thought about it so often, and I watched the movie again last night. It's so funny, and you're so dedicated to every joke in every scene. And I don't know if people understand this. There are clips in this movie that you may not even know come from this movie. Conan the Librarian is I think a lot of people go like, what is that? Is that a Zucker Abrams movie that's from? No, it's from UHF, right? Spatula City.
That's gotten used a lot over the years.
These things you go, oh, wait a minute, that's from UHF?
Right.
And I guess I was watching it going, I think he just thinks the word spatula is funny. I think he likes spatula as a word.
I remember when we were shooting that movie, the Spatula City was the very first day of shooting, and it was a big Orion Pictures big budget movie, and the executives are watching all the dailies, and it's just a bunch of women like staring at spatulas, and they're like, what did we greenlight here? What is this movie?
Let me tell you something. If you want to watch a movie with your friends, you want to get high, and you want to imagine you're having a sleepover. UHF is the world's greatest sleepover movie. I'm going to look into camera. It's the world's greatest sleepover movie that ever existed. Get a little high like you couldn't when you were younger. And it is so funny. And the number of beats in there. Were you inspired by Airplane, by Naked Gun?
Of course.
Have you seen the Police Squad episodes, all the standalones?
My absolute favorite TV show of all time, Police Squad. In fact, I've been in all the Naked Gun movies.
You have? That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I see you now at the awards ceremony, a Naked Gun
with
33
Vanna White,
with Vanna White. That's right. Now I know you were in that. You have a Forrest Gumpy thing about you.
Kinda.
Where you've been there. You've been in the picture.
People forget how old I am, and they're like, what is he doing in this video or this movie?
You're like Santa Claus. You're so beloved. And this film also is, I remember all these lines. And you ever see a movie, you go, how did I know I knew all these lines?
Right.
You know, help, get me out of this box, I can't breathe. Or, you know, you're so stupid. I mean, my brothers used to say this to each other. My brothers and I used to, I mean, but what's really interesting is it's kind of the breakout performance of Michael Richards doing a prototypical Kramer.
Right.
Like fumbling with the door. What was that like for you to see Seinfeld the first time and see Stanley Spadowski, basically, from UHF?
Well, it's certainly a different character, but I mean, I was very proud of Michael. I mean, I was a big fan of his. I used to see him doing stand-up in L.A. in the I guess it was the late 70s, and then he was on that show Fridays, which was kind of ABC's version of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So I was just a big fan of his physical humor, and the part was pretty much written with him in mind. And at first he didn't want to do it. He kind of came in and he read for it, and he crushed it. And then he said, "Yeah, I don't know." And there's, "No, you have to do this. You are Stanley Spadowski."
He is. I mean, just growing up, that was the funniest character to me. And I know all these lines. I mean, it's not good radio or good video to just tell you all the lines I love. But you know, thinking of something orange. Give up. It's an orange.
Yeah.
Like you know, before the internet, like you just traded lines with each other, you know? And I guess an interesting question might be, how does it feel now to see parody be such a thing all day, every day on TikTok and Instagram? What's your reaction when you see everyone now sending things up? It's almost like things occur so that people can send them up.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, it's not like I invented parody or anything.
I don't know, but you popularized it.
Well, in a way, I suppose. Yeah, there was a think piece written on me a while ago calling me the godfather of YouTube, which I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that.
You don't have to. It's not your job to agree with it. It's your job. It's my job to tell you they're right. They are correct. Well, would you think now that might dissuade you from doing parody because it's just done so much that you might?
I will say that since my last album, which is now close to 11 years ago, you know, I've been putting out songs here and there, but I haven't done a full-on straight parody song, a new parody song. And part of it's just because it feels like, you know, even with my last album, it was tough because like every new song that comes out, there's somebody that will do a parody of it on YouTube within like a minute.
I know.
You know, and I've got a little bit longer of a lead time, and I don't want to be the last person to do a parody of anything.
You know, I say the same thing about guitar playing, and people want to hear the album that they want to hear another one of the albums I made where I'm playing a lot of guitar, and I say, well, so many people are now playing guitar like that it's not that I'm upset, but it wouldn't be evolving anymore because I'd be playing like the people who play like me.
Right.
And they say, I don't care anything about what you just said. I want you to do it again. And I've just experienced being on the other side of that because now I'm saying to you the way people would say to me, I don't care. We just want more from you.
Right. You know, I don't know that I'm not going to say that I'm never going to do another parody song, but I like what Tom. Are you a Tom Lehrer fan?
I know the name, but
one of my heroes.
Radio.
He hasn't put out anything new in literally half a century.
Radio guy?
No, he was a Harvard student that
That's why I never heard of him.
No, he plays the piano and he does funny songs. But this is like Dr. Meadows show. He was popular in the 50s.
Yeah.
But he had a famous quote after he basically retired, and he said, "What good are laurels if you can't rest on them?"
Yep. I know. It's like it would be fun. We'd all love it. I know. But now I have a little bit of perspective when other people go like, when are you going to do another blues-based guitar album?
Sure.
Maybe now this will change my mind because it's like, yeah, they sometimes just want to see the karate demonstration. You know, they just want to see the karate demonstration.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you're not thinking about songs that you would parody. You must have hundreds of ideas, things you've heard in the car and went, well, I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great candidates for parody and great targets, and yeah, I'm not like most of my ideas aren't like spontaneous, like, oh, I should do this. It's like me sitting down with a notepad going, okay, here's the song. What are like 100 variations on a theme that I could think of?
What was the quickest one that came to you?
The quickest one was Jurassic Park to MacArthur Park. Because the movie had just come out, and I heard the song on the radio, and I was like, oh,
it was a layup.
Yeah, it was a layup.
Anything you hear on the? Do you listen to the radio these days?
Yeah, I don't listen to as much top 40 radio or pop radio. That used to be such a part of my job description. I had to have my finger on the pulse and know exactly what's going on. And I feel bad admitting it, but sometimes I look at the Billboard charts, and I used to know every single song on the charts, and now not so much.
Yeah, and I used to think that I was going to forever. And then there's just one year that comes and you just get shaken off the vine and you go, okay, now this is, I always say to people, like, to younger people, I go, there's going to come a day where you're not going to it's not going to be because you don't like it. It's going to be because, like, the next thing is going to be vomiting on each other. And you're going to go, I can't throw up. I just don't want to throw up.
No, I asked my daughter, is this popular? Is this good?
Yeah.
Do you know this song?
You'll just get shaken out of the tree. And it's still kind of fun then to look at the world from that perspective and go, look, I'm an older guy, but you come on, give us a little. Is there a song, even if you don't give me what the parody would be, is there something that you've thought to yourself that would bring you back in the studio?
Oh gosh, I mean, there's so many like great artists now. It would be fun to do a Kendrick parody. It'd be fun to do a Chapel Roan parody.
A Pink Pony Club,
Doechii. There's a lot of artists that would be like really fun to do. Yeah. And if I did a polka medley last year, Polka Mania, where it's sort of like a catch up because I hadn't put out a polka medley of rock pop songs since my last album. Sure. So like literally a whole decade's gone by, and I've got to commemorate the 10th year anniversary of my last album by doing like a polka medley of the biggest
update
from the last 10 years. So like, oh, let's catch us up to speed here.
Yeah. So Pink Pony Club, we might get one. Although I know what you're saying, by the time you get around to doing a parody of Pink Pony Club, it wouldn't be the thing everybody was talking about because of how quickly songs move through that prism of being number one.
And that's always been a thing because the timing is so important. I would write all my original songs first and then wait until the very end to do the parodies, because even once you write and record a parody, it takes a certain amount of time, like for an album to get in the stores, back when that was the thing. And so you couldn't be as topical maybe as somebody that was just like doing stuff for YouTube.
Right. And everyone knows that the Prince did not approve a song.
Right.
Does anybody know what that was going to be a send up of?
I do.
Well, do they know? Can I ask you what the song would have been?
We pitched them. There were like a half a dozen ideas for Prince. Actually, Prince was in UHF instead of the Dire Straits parody. It was supposed to be a parody of Purple Rain, or Let's Go Crazy.
Yeah. And what would it have been?
It was again about the Beverly Hillbillies, but it was like the Beverly Hillbillies theme song to Let's Go Crazy.
I see.
And then there was a parody of 1999 where it was going to be like a Ron Popeil ad. You can get all this for just $19.99.
1999, that's great.
So that kind of. Then again, there was several ideas, but every time we pitched him, he was just, and we never got a reason. It was just like, no.
He was a very tricky guy. Prince used to put his name on the guest list every time I played around where he was and would never show up. And I think it was just a way of just rattling.
Just freaking you out.
Just freaking out another guitar player he liked. I took it as a compliment looking back now.
Shout out to Prince. Prince is in the house. Everybody just get it for Prince.
Do you know this video of James Brown performing on New Year's Eve, and he asks Michael Jackson to come up, and Michael Jackson performs, and then Prince has to come up, and it's a very different vibe than Michael Jackson? Do you know about this video?
No, Prince was there?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You got to. I'm going to send you this video.
Okay.
I'm going to send you this video. James Brown is there, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring someone up to the stage. Michael Jackson, come on, Michael Jackson." Michael Jackson walks up, and he just goes, "I love you," and it's unbelievable. It's like that's all he sings.
Uh-huh.
I love you, girl. I love you, and then he goes into this hyperactive James Brown thing, and then he steps off the stage. But Michael starts to whisper into James Brown's ear, and James Brown says, "Michael's just told me that Prince is here. Prince, come on up, Prince." And Prince is riding on the back and shoulders of a large biker guy with
a chick?
white hair.
It was chick, right? Because I remember.
Tell me about it.
No, yeah, because he used to bring this, like, I think his name was Chick, like big hulking guy, and bring him every year. In fact, like at the American Music Awards, when Prince won an award, he would bring Chick up on stage with him, like, oh, like Kenny Loggins was going to sucker punch you? Like, what are you doing?
It's unbelievable. So he's riding this guy Chick's back, and then he sees a lamppost, but he believes it's a load-bearing structure. And so he reaches out his arm to kind of swing on it, but now it's just a prop. The light falls off, the whole thing falls apart, and he just gets on the stage, and he is gacked out of his mind, and he won't get off the stage. And you just go like, that was the thing, man. And I'm not ripping on Prince certainly in any way. He was a genius.
Sure.
But Michael Jackson goes, I love you, girl, I love you, and he does a dance, and then this wonderful like minute and a half cacophony of it was beautiful.
I gotta see that.
It really saved my story by telling me about Chick, because otherwise it was just me a guy at a party telling you about a thing he saw. You really bailed me out with the Chick. So
my pleasure.
Yeah. What was the weirdest thing you ever saw? The most rock and roll thing you ever witnessed in your life with your own eyes?
Oh gosh, with my own. That's an excellent question. I wish I had something came to mind immediately.
But that's an answer on its own. You didn't have one.
Yeah, I've heard so many Prince stories, but nothing that I like experienced. Like, you know, I just heard from like, like somebody. I worked with a guy that was editing one of Prince's videos, and Prince wouldn't come into the studio where they were actually doing the editing. He says, "I'm in the limo. Just make a VHS tape and I'll watch it in the limo."
Yeah.
And they'd bring the tape into the limo and watch it. He goes, "Yeah, it looks a little soft." That's because you're watching it on a VHS tape.
It looks a little soft. The tracking's a little off.
The tracking, yes. I'm getting a tracking's off.
What's the most rock and roll thing you've ever done? Maybe a purchase. What's the most extravagant thing you've ever bought?
I'm not extravagant. I'm like, if I I own my house, it's like I'm not into for extravagance. I wanted to do one rock and roll thing. So in the early '80s, I figured I want to be like Van Halen with the no green M&Ms thing. So for part of the tour rider was for every show the promoter has to provide one garish, horrible Hawaiian shirt.
And they did.
And they did. So which is why I started my Hawaiian shirt collection. I've got like now hundreds and hundreds of these weird Hawaiian shirts.
That is great. When you have, because you're an artist, when you have insecurities, what are they about?
I just have a lot of anxiety about, especially about blanking out, because there's always like that little devil on my shoulder when I'm performing live, going, "Wouldn't it be really horrible if you just forgot everything right now?"
Here we go. This is why I knew I would love talking to you. Do you know that I do the same thing?
Really?
Yeah. You know what I think it's a function of?
What?
You're not worried that you're not going to be good. You have control of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying normal, but most people, they're focused on whether or not they're going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah.
You have such control of what you do, and I think I have control of what I do to the point where I'm not worried about that, but we have to worry about something. So I worry about just existential explosion. Just, what if I don't want to be here? What if I freak out? It wouldn't be something I could control, because I would control it and it would be great. So the fear is of some other external thing. In this case, I just blank. Well, how would you blank? Well, you wouldn't, but that's the only way you could screw up.
Yeah.
And we have to leave some room for some kind of apex predator out there. We couldn't just walk up there and have a good time.
Yeah, I always wonder, what if my microphone turns into a swarm of bees?
You're saying that because I said that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I swear I thought we had the greatest kinship of all time.
But we do.
The ways we do. But did that resonate with you when you heard that?
No, absolutely. Yeah,
because you're gonna be good. The only thing you can worry about left is, are you gonna be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Absolutely.
Are you looking forward to this tour for reason? It's
been
a while since you were on the road.
Yeah, and this tour, the reason it's called Bigger and Weird is because we're doubling the size of the band. So it's me with the same guys that I've had since the early 80s, plus 4 people, which I literally haven't met in real life yet. But we hired them because they're instrumentalists and singers, and we wanted to be able to fill out the band. I did a tour in 19. That's how old I am. I did a tour in 2019 called Strings Attached, where I literally performed with a full-on symphony orchestra every night, which I loved. But I thought I wanted to do a sort of an intermediate version where it's like, I don't need all those strings and woodwinds, but I would love it to have some horns and some more singers and more instruments and have a bigger sound.
And quick changes in the costumes?
Yeah, so this tour, it's definitely the big show again. So it's all the costumes and the props and the big video wall and a bigger band. And Yeah, I think, we haven't started yet, but I think this is going to be our best tour because it's going to be kind of like the best of all worlds.
Yeah, I can't wait. I will be there. And I think you'll be surprised who's going to be there, because loving your work and thinking you're funny is not ironic. And I think that feels refreshing to people. We have so much irony in this world. We like laughing at things that the people who are doing don't know or think is funny. Mm-hmm. And there's something really cathartic about laughing at something that is, if something could be earnestly funny, then you are earnestly funny. And I think it's so rare that we get to do that in a non-ironic way.
Yeah.
You're being subversive. We are not. And I think people are going to really want to come out and see you be subversive, and we can get back in touch with a simpler thing. It doesn't have to be our childhood, because you could be 15 years old and love this, because this is comedy meant to be comedy.
Sure.
Meant to be funny. Have you ever done stand-up?
Not really. I mean, like you, I do patter between songs, but I haven't gone down to the. I think maybe when I was a teenager, I went to the Comedy Store once and tried
it.
But that's not my personality.
Do you watch stand-up?
Yeah, I love stand-up. I mean, half the people that I follow on social media are stand-up comedians.
Who's a couple of your favorites?
Oh gosh, I mean, old friends of mine, Patton Oswalt, and Tom Lennon. And I get Emo Phillips, obviously, a million people.
Yeah. No, I always wondered, could you fake a stand-up? Could you do 5 minutes if you had to?
If I had to, I don't.
I think you probably.
I'd have to exercise that muscle a little bit. But
you
maybe
would figure it out.
Yeah.
Wrapping up, as I just have a few more minutes with you and just want to get as much out of your mind as I can.
Okay.
What books do you read? Are you reading? What interests you when it comes to reading a book?
Mostly, I like to read biographies. The last book I read was the book on Lorne Michaels.
Right.
I just finished that one. So I that kind of stuff. I like showbiz type stuff and humor.
Yeah.
Nothing that I read is very dark or, it's pretty much fluff.
Yeah. Sure. No. Well, listen. I watch really silly things at the end of the night. And some people watch murder procedurals, real, I don't even know what they call it, the first 48.
Yeah.
And it was there's a guy going in my 47 years of being in law enforcement, I'd never seen a body look like that. And people fall asleep watching that, and I go, I have enough intrigue in my day.
Yeah, me too. I've got enough of that in my life.
I have so much intrigue in my day, I want to turn my head off. So that's why I watch.
The reason it's called a diversion is so that you don't have to think about that.
I'm very low IQ. The last hour of my day, I am a 12-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Do you have that?
No, I've got that all the time.
Yeah, you're just so. If you could pick up any skill right now, what would you start getting into to learn?
I'd like to learn to just fly, just jump up and start flapping my arms and fly.
That's a great thing to tell people at parties.
Yeah.
They would just believe you wanted to be a pilot, like I just did.
No.
And then you say, no, I just want to. I think
in my dreams,
it's so funny. I think if you could fly, you would get it would be underwhelming and it would be costly. If you could fly, you could get 6 to 8 feet above the ground and you'd be nauseous afterwards for the rest of the day. That's how flying would work if flying was real.
Yeah. So sometimes I think it would actually be a good thing to to fly in a conventional way because I live part-time on Maui, in the jungle.
Do you really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't get there as often as I'd like.
I recall asking you if you had done any extravagant rock and roll stuff.
Is that rock and roll?
And it seems to me that owning a house in Maui in the jungle is fairly David Lee Roth of you.
Okay, fine, fine.
Did you ever buy a sports car?
I mean, it's a nice car. It's not
Never owned a Ferrari.
Not a Ferrari, no. So I was going to say, you think maybe I could retire in Maui, but then I think, but if my, if an internal organ explodes, the nearest hospital is 2 hours away.
I have the same thing. When I go on vacation, do you have a little hypochondria?
A little bit. Well, I literally I had several gallbladder attacks when I was in Maui, and we would have to drive the road to Hana 2 hours to the hospital while I'm
It's so funny you say this. When I go on vacation, if you go to an island and you take a boat to another island, to me, all I think about is the hospital.
Yeah.
And my joke is always you go to the hospital and the doctor says, we don't have the machine for that.
Right.
Yes, we don't have the machine for that. And then you get put on a seaplane.
Yeah.
And it's the doctor's brother flying and your phone doesn't work. You've got one bar on coconut wireless.
Right. Coconut wireless. Oh man,
we have this. Do you have OCD? Any OCD stuff?
Probably nothing too severe, but I'm sure I have a little bit of it because I'm hyper fixated on things.
Yeah, I have a little bit too.
Yeah, like especially like when I'm writing, like my wife calls me the zombie because I just walk around the house with this 1,000-yard stare because I'm so in my own head.
Yeah, you know? I have these little things where I go, listen, just do them. You know, like I will negotiate with terrorists in this case. It's like, listen, do you want to open the fridge and turn the milk bottle so that it's facing you? Go do that, Johnny. You know, before I go on stage, I have like. You have any pre-stage things you got to do before you go on?
I just like to have some silence and just kind of be like, you know, thinking about the show and just have some quiet time. Because I've been with a number of artists backstage. They would just be like loud and happy and making jokes and then go, oh, I'm on stage right now. And they'll walk out on stage like, how do you do that?
I don't know how they do it.
How do you do that?
I literally say, I need time to get nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
I say, I have to go get nervous now.
Yeah.
I know. There are people, and I'll say, you're probably like me. You go, well, I'll get out of your hair. They go, no, stay. And then someone goes, you're on. They go, walk up with me.
Yeah.
I go, how do you, the goal in my life, and I want to know if you've ever done this, before I'm dead and gone, is to have a show that I do a sound check at, and then I leave the building and I go have a beautiful, calm dinner down the street, maybe New York. Mm-hmm. And as the garden is filling with people, I'm having a spicy rigatoni, and then I walk back in, side of the stage door, play the show. Have you ever done it? Have you ever? That to me is the height of rock and roll.
Wow, that sounds so cool. I've never done anything exactly like that.
Because you have to stay to get nervous to play the show. Because what would happen if you were? It's like watching The Wing on a plane. If I'm not watching The Wing, how are we flying?
Especially after spicy rigatoni, I don't want to be like playing the garden.
Okay, maybe sushi.
Okay.
As I said it, I thought, well, not an ideal thing to say. You're just fantastic, and I knew you would be. And I think every year that goes on, you, by comparison, looking at the way the world is, you are just more valued. You're not just nostalgic. Anyone walking in off the street who had never heard you before would take to you because you are charming. You're a genius director. I met you for the first time, actually. I don't know if you remember. You were directing Ben Folds' Rockin' the Suburbs.
Yes, right.
And someone from Columbia walked me by, and it was the first time I saw you. And I went, oh, he's seriously directing. And I think you're one of these people where when people really start to think about it again, they just realize how much they love you. And
this is so fun, man. Thanks so
much. It's fun
for
me. Absolutely great to meet you. It is I guess I'll do the promo thing. It is the bigger and weirder 2025 tour. You can go to WeirdAlYankovic.com.
Just WeirdAl.com.
Weird Al. Did someone else have Weird Al? You don't want people typing in Yankovic.
It's too much work. Too much work.
Go to Weird Al. It's super easy to do. Ticketmaster.com, all that good stuff. I think you should go see the show because I am absolutely going to hit you up for tickets.
Okay, absolutely.
To come to one of your shows.
Great.
It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
Weird Al Yankovic. Amazing.